What's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. For those of you who don't know, I was in the military for 10 years, and here's a random story from my time in the military. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. And thank you to everyone DMing me on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, hit your boy up, follow me, DM me, let me know what you think about the videos, and see what I could do better, and let me know what you guys prefer, and we could take it from there. Like I said, thank you again for the love. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Please subscribe. I appreciate it. Alright, so this story is crazy. It's a wild ride. It was like years in the making just to go from the beginning all the way to the end. It was just years and years of new things unfolding. I guess you just never know who a person really is, and it's crazy. But take this ride with me. Check it out. See how much of a trip this whole story is. Okay, so let's start all the way from the beginning. So it's 2006, and I just graduated boot camp. And right after boot camp, you have to go to tech school. And for those of you who don't know, tech school is just a school where you learn how to do your job in the military. So it's my first week in tech school, and I'm waiting for my class date. But during the first couple weeks, since you don't have a class date, because obviously there's people rotating in and out, graduating and then coming in and all that stuff. Well, during my wait time, what we had to do was, they call it details. So it's either you're cutting the grass or watching the grass grow or mopping the water in the street when it's raining. You know, stuff like that. Like a lot of irrelevant work that you have to do. I mean, you are getting paid, and since you're doing nothing all day, the sergeants need to have you doing something. Like I said, whether it's watch the grass grow or something else like, I don't know, paint rocks or something. During my detail, what I had to do was I had to mop an auditorium. Now, during the time when I was mopping, this kid comes in the auditorium. Let's call him Chester. Something that always stood out to me about him specifically was that he had a bandage. So later on, I knew what it was, but obviously I had to talk to him about it to know what it was, and then I had to experience it later. But what it is sometimes military people, when you see them, like the lower ranking people, we get the smallpox shot. The way we bandage it up is we have a bandage, and then we tape it on 3 sides. And on the top, you have to leave it open so the scab can breathe, you know, so it can heal up, and that's how the vaccination works. And the way they do it is they poke you 3 times with the needle, and they rub like I want to say the active virus on you, and they just rub it on there, and they just infect you with it. So after that, it heals up and it scabs up real bad, and the scab falls. However, you have to really take care of it, because since it's active, if you let it run down your skin, you might be able to spread the smallpox all over your skin, and also it's contagious. So if you have a family, you have to like really take care of yourself. Either move out for a week or something, or just be extra cautious, because since the scab has the active virus, you could infect other people around you. So I walked up to him and I introduced myself, and he told me his name. Obviously we're going with Chester. So he said, "Hi, my name is Chester." And I was curious about the bandage. So I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, what's up with the bandage?" He told me it was the smallpox shot. Sometimes it depends on what country you're going to. That's what determines how you get the smallpox shot. So we were talking, and he said that he just got orders to Turkey. So right out of tech school, he was going straight to Turkey. And if you go get stationed in Turkey, a requirement is the smallpox shot. So I was asking him, you know, what he was doing in the auditorium, and he said that he just graduated tech school and he had his luggage with him. So he was waiting for a bus to pick him up so he could just go to the airport and go home. He said he was going home for a month, and after that month, he was going to Turkey. So we started talking. He was just a very open guy. I mean, he started talking about his personal business, and I was willing to hear him out just because I just wanted a break from mopping the auditorium. So he started talking to me about his girlfriend and his current situation with this girl. So this is his story, so hear me out. So at the time when we just met, we were 18-year-old kids. So back when he was in high school, he had a best friend, and that best friend had a girlfriend. They all used to hang out with each other, and the best friend and Chester wanted to join the military together. And there's this program where you could go through boot camp and tech school together. And that was their plan, to knock out all that training together as best friends. So during the process of them joining the military, obviously with the physical and the background check and education and all that stuff that you have to go through in order to qualify to join the military, well, the best friend, for some reason, he was disqualified. And obviously Chester was allowed to come in. So during that time, you have like around, I don't know, I want to say like a month, 2-month period from when you go into the recruiter's office and the day that you leave for boot camp. So let's just call it a month. Now, his best friend's girlfriend was kind of disappointed that her boyfriend got disqualified, but she kind of had her eye and she was kind of scheming to try to get the attention of Chester. So Chester was like, hey, I could get, some booty, so why not? He ended up sleeping with his best friend's girlfriend. So since they had around a month to like build a relationship on the low, they ended up telling the best friend like, hey man, she's with me now, so please leave her alone. And obviously the girlfriend was just trying to latch on to the guy who was going to have a military career. So during that month, right before boot camp, they were messing around and they were officially boyfriend and girlfriend, and Chester went to boot camp. So around that time, I want to say boot camp was about 7 weeks. So you had to go 7 weeks, and then tech school, which was, let's just call it another 2 to 4 months, depending on what your job is. So let's just say it's a total of 6 to 7 months that you have to be away from home. So during that time, when Chester was in boot camp and in tech school, well, the girlfriend got a little lonely. And what happens then? Well, she fell into temptation with the ex-boyfriend. So as she was creeping on the low with the ex-boyfriend, she ended up getting pregnant. So after Chester graduated boot camp, he was able to access a phone so he could call his girlfriend and see what was going on. Especially since she stopped writing him in boot camp and his family not being able to know what's going on with her. He was kind of suspecting something. So as soon as he was able to call, she broke the news to him like, hey, yeah, I'm pregnant by old dude. I don't want to be with you no more. So obviously Chester was heartbroken. I mean, it's a part of the game. I mean, since you stole your best friend's girlfriend from him, you can't really be mad at it. So fast forward to the moment that we're meeting, and he's getting ready to just go home, and I'm over here like, hey man, so what do you think you're gonna do? So he's over here telling me like, oh man, I'm gonna beat him up, I'm gonna do this and that, I'm gonna go harm the guy. And I was like, hey man, well, it's not cool. I mean, obviously what you told me, I mean, it's a part of the game. Just let her go home and relax, and just go to Turkey, and hey, maybe you could meet some girl out there, either she's a Turkish lady or a military girl, just live your life or just relax, you could be single, why not? Consider it a blessing. So that was the end of our conversation. His bus arrived and I just went back to mopping. And I honestly thought I was never gonna see that guy again. One thing that I learned quickly is that the military is just one big high school. Like everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, everybody knows you, it's just one big high school, and somehow someone's attached to everybody. The 6 degrees of separation is real in the Air Force. I want to even call it 2 degrees of separation. So I end up going through my school and graduating, and I end up with orders to Japan. And I spent my time in Japan, I spent 2 years there, and I completely forgot about that guy I met one time. However, if I thought back at the time where we met, it was still vivid in my mind simply because the impression that he made by just having that shot that I had no clue what it was. It kind of made me curious to obviously learn about his shot. You know what? What's funny? 6 months later, after I met the guy, I ended up getting the shot myself. Anyway, so a couple years later, I ended up getting orders to Germany from Japan. So I was excited to move to Europe and have that experience. So I moved and I ended up at a different shop. And the shop was real cool. There's a lot of cool people there. So around the first few weeks that I was at my new section in Germany, a few of my coworkers, mainly one, but all of them had an opinion about this one guy who was currently deployed who belonged to our current section. And I heard all this hatred. Like, I don't know what it was, but they hated this guy who was deployed. I don't know what they were saying. He's lazy, he smells, and he's just, I don't know. He was just some kind of guy who wasn't likable. He was annoying. And I guess he just triggered people for some reason. So a month into my new section, this guy comes back from deployment. Who do you think it is? It's Chester. So I came up to him. I was like, yo, what's up, man? My name is Diaz. Nice to see you again. And he was like, oh, we met before? And how I said earlier, he made an impression on me because of the shot. And I also remembered his personal story because it was kind of crazy. And I understood that he didn't remember me because I was just some guy he was talking to on one of the most exciting days of his life. I mean, obviously, from being away from home for 6 to 7 months, and this is your last day in training, why are you going to remember some guy in the auditorium mopping the floor?